Let's keep going here. Broncos and the Jaguars. Now, as I've been pretty, shrewd on my picks here, going with each side, bounce back efforts, buying low. I don't know if I'm buying low this week on this one, Kyle. 283, 284, Denver and Jacksonville. Bridgewater versus Lawrence. -6s across the board. Some 5.5s out here. A low total, which opened up at FanDuel at 47.5, now sits at 45, 45.5. Offshore, they opened up at 44, and they're sitting at 45 now. I don't want to overcomplicate this because I did like the fact that Jacksonville sort of came back in the game and had a pulse in the fourth quarter. But I think I'm getting that first three-quarter Jaguar team a lot more than the fourth-quarter Jaguar team that we saw in a blowout where they were just getting junk yards and Trevor Lawrence was learning how to be a quarterback in the NFL. If Teddy Bridgewater takes that defense down, and maybe Bradley Chubb even plays this week as that 1-2 punch with Von Miller, I don't like anything about that Jacksonville Jaguars defense. And Teddy Bridgewater should be steady Teddy in this game once again. 260 yards passing, maybe 30, 40 yards on the ground himself. Hand off to your running backs, let them eat. Even though Jerry Jeudy's going to be out for this game, it doesn't certainly help the cause. But there's enough weapons on this team. But primarily, I'm looking at this. The Denver defense should cause havoc to a young offensive quarterback, meaning Trevor Lawrence. Do I think he's going to make some plays? Sure, he's very talented. But I'm not going to overcomplicate this thing. I'm going to buy low in the Jacksonville Jaguars. -6 Broncos for me.
Yeah, Broncos all the way. I love the Broncos team total. I'm actually going to take it's a risky number. I don't love 24.5, but it's at -120. I could have bought it down. But look, we're talking about a Broncos offense that put up 27 points on a very good Giants defense last week. I'm not giving any credit for Jacksonville for throwing a couple touchdowns up against the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans defense is going to be awful this year. Mark my words. That is a under-talented dumpster fire of a defense. But Urban Meyer, the scheming, the coaching, the game plan, the play calls were absolutely terrible. And now you're going against a Broncos defense, which is 7,000 times better than anything Houston will ever present to you this week. They are not going to have the mismatches on the outside with Chark, Shenault, et cetera, that they had, and Marvin Jones that they had last week. I will say this, Marvin Jones is 3,700 on DraftKings. Very, very cheap. 9 targets last week. Might be a guy to keep an eye on. But this is even without Ronald Darby, who got hurt for Denver in that secondary. They still have Bryce Callahan, Surtain, Kyle Fuller. This is a really, really good defense that's going to wreak havoc. I think the Broncos cover here. I think they cover easily. It'll be on my pick 6 list. And one of my favorite bets, I'm going to take the Broncos over 24.5 at -120. I think they get to at least 28 points. They could get into the 30s this week. Urban Meyer, not ready for the NFL. This is going to be one of the few weeks where Denver has the coaching advantage with Vic Fangio, and that's against Urban Meyer in Jacksonville. That team's a dumpster fire. And if they continue to play Carlos Hyde and run these little halfback dives inside, they're going to get blown out by 40. Love the Broncos this week. Nothing about Jacksonville wants me to touch them in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, Jerry Jeudy will be out this week, Christopher Dunlap. He's going to be out for quite a while. You get the high ankle sprain. It's just like breaking your leg. He's probably going to miss at least 4 to 6 weeks, no doubt about that, trying to come back from that injury. And we've seen people come back from those injuries like Michael Thomas and just not the same for the rest of the year. So we hope he gets a rested recovery here because I would like to partake in taking some of these Denver Broncos team totals down the line.